What's up, guys? Welcome back to Libertalia Game Supply once again. If you've been here before and you are back for more, then drop a sub down below. I would really appreciate it. This week we're going to take a look at Heroes. Heroes been kind of one of my favorite decks that I don't actually really play very much. More because of the anime. I grew up during DM and GX era, like I'm sure most of you did. So Heroes have always been kind of like a special deck for me. Once it got away from the Bubble Beatdown, I just kind of stopped playing it because I was less interested in a lot of the Masked Hero and Vision Hero and whatnot. But now everything's gotten pretty cheap to the point where you can get pretty much any card in this deck for less than a couple dollars other than Forbidden Droplet. I don't think I'm wrong on anything else here. Maybe Fusion Destiny is getting that reprint in the Battles of Legend as a secret rare, so hopefully this is like a $5 to $10 card after release date there, and those will be a little bit cheaper. And then yeah, the deck is fairly affordable, so I figured now is as good a time as any to start picking the stuff up and have it for whenever. So deck here, triple Stratos, because it's Stratos, like the best card in any hero deck. Probably not the best idea to play the one Bubble Man, but I had to do it. Bubble Man was like my favorite hero, or is my favorite hero in the entire archetype. I can't really justify playing more than one. It's similar to my Bujin deck. I just can't cut Yamato, because Yamato is what I associate with the deck. You know, I can't cut the Bubble Man, because he's just the hero to me. So I keep that as an extender. He works fine. Best or worst case scenario, he ends up being your special summon effect to go into link plays or something. We don't play any XZs currently, so you can't really do that, but it's also a water monster, so you can use it for Absolute Zero also. Then for another water monster, we got the one Liquid Soldier. This is by far the better one. If he's normal summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower hero back out of your graveyard. Probably going to be Shadow Mist, if possible, just for the search effect. Then if it's sent to the graveyard or banished as fusion material, you get to draw 2 and then discard 1. So that's is it Hand Destruction that does that, or I can't remember. It's a similar effect to other cards in the game. It's also part of your little combo with Ferris and Stratos and whatever. The one Shadow Mist, this would probably be bumped to 2 if I wasn't playing the Bubble Man, just because he's gonna dig for those mask changes, which are a pretty big part of this deck. So on summon, you can add your mask change to your hand, and then when he's sent to the graveyard, you can add a hero monster from your deck to your hand, so you can search your whole deck pretty much. Yes, your whole deck. For the Vision Hero, it's standard package, the triple Ferris for the discard and special summon, the 1 increase. You could maybe play 2 for the effect for him to tribute the Ferris, summon himself, and then summon the Vion to get Vion's effect, and then the double Vion. For the Evil Hero, we got the 1 Adusted Gold. This one I'm most excited to get to play, just because when it came out it seemed cool to get some new version of Heroes. Everything was so expensive, along with the Malicious Bane. Now it's worth almost nothing, so I'm really excited to get to play this card. This is just discard fodder to, or his effect is a discard effect to search the Dark Calling, so you can fusion summon into your Malicious Bane. Your Destiny Hero package, we got the 1 Plasma, the 2 Malicious, the 1 Denier, and the 1 Dark Angel. This is pretty standard for hero decks, or even for just Destiny Hero engines. It's usually going to be these 3, and then these 2 are kind of like an extension of that. We play the extra Destiny Hero Fusion monster in here as well, so there's extra benefit to having more than just what you would need for the Dark Phoenix Enforcer. We got the 1 Rhoda, the 1 Foolish, triple hero lives, summon 1 for half your life points. E-Call, it's like a Rhoda but for heroes, which is your whole deck. Double Fusion Destiny. I couldn't decide between 2 or 3 of these. 2 seemed more than good, because ideally you're only really using this to make the Dark Phoenix, Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. If you end up using it to make the second one, it's not really a bad thing, but having that many extra copies, meaning you're going to see it that much more frequently, and then not having that really good of a follow-up play after you got your Phoenix Enforcer out, 2 felt good. Holly is for pretty much whatever, any of the elemental ones here, and then this guy. It's nice because it's searchable off of the Wonder Driver. Also, if you fusion summon into your Sunriser, it searches your Miracle Fusion, which you would then use to either save for your next turn, or you would make your Absolute Zero if you're trying to push, or your a Squirtle or whatever. So that's kind of rounding up the fusion. Well, no it isn't. We got the one Dark Calling to make Malicious, and we got the triple mass change. This is mostly just for Dark Claw. Dark Claw is still a beast of a card. Just a walking Dimensional Fissure, always going to be good, and it's, you can play two of them, so might as well play two of them. Also that effect to rip stuff out of the hand when things get added outside of the draw phase is just gnarly. This card's just so good. We got the triple Forbidden Droplet. It just works really well on the deck. The discard for turning off effects is usually good. Being able to shut down boards if you have to go second, so you can try to push through without being interrupted, is also pretty important. I suppose you could play the Dark Ruler no more, but going first, Forbidden Droplet is still good, I feel, because even if you just set it, it's better than having that Dark Ruler no more that you can't use once you've passed the turn, so I like the Droplet. The one called by, if you get hand trapped in this deck, or stopped really on your initial starter play, it's kind of hard to keep going from there, because you kind of need your normal summon. Outside of the Ferris and then I guess the Bubble Man, you kind of need your normal summon to get everything else going, so you want to try to avoid your normal summon effects getting negated. We only get the one called by. If you were really that worried, you could play the Nobleman plus the hand traps you're most worried about, but we don't really have room in there, as you can see. I don't like playing more than 40 cards to begin with, and I wouldn't want to cut some of this consistency stuff for that, so just take your chances, hope you get lucky. And then the one Infinite Impermanence, it's just a decent card, decent hand trap. Good going first, good going second, you know, whatever. This could be anything you wanted. I couldn't think of something I would have rather had. This could potentially have been like a spare copy of one of the monsters I had mentioned before in Shadow Mist or Increase, but I didn't really want to overload with too many monsters, because then you draw them all, and then you can't really do much with them. That's what the rest of the spells are for, is to put that stuff in your hand. For the extra deck, this extra deck's super fun just because it doesn't play like all the standard like extra deck monsters. That's usually something that draws me to a deck, is if the extra deck is like a rank 4 toolbox or whatever, where you're just going to play the same 10 monsters as everybody else. It's a lot less fun. I understand why you would do it. They're the best cards in the game for that specific type of deck, but I just like this more. It's just so much difference. We got the one Sunrise, the one Absolute Zero, the one Esquirto. These are all the like elemental based, so this one requires a hero and a dark, a hero and a water, and then just two heroes with different attributes. This guy's really good just on that summon, searching the Miracle Fusion, and then you get, so like if you were to summon this off of like a Bubble Man Stratos and Poly, and then search the Miracle Fusion, you have the Absolute Zero play right there. Or, you know, even if it wasn't Stratos, everything else is deck other than these, or everything else is dark rather than these 5 monsters, and so you always have that Esquirto play also. The double Dark Law, because he's the best, the one Acid and the one Blast, they're just alternative mass change targets, because we do play the main deck monsters that would facilitate them. The one Trinity, this thing's just like an OTK enabler. On summon, his attack becomes double, and then it can make a second and a third attack during each battle phase, but it can't attack directly, so it can just clear boards, and on turn 1 that you summon it, he's 5,000 attack, so you can clear boards and just do monstrous damage. It's kind of a similar concept to the Access Code, being able to like just summon a monster fairly easily with big attack, just so you can attack over it, because outside of that, the biggest monster you're making has 3,000 attack. There's effects that can manipulate attack power, but sometimes you need something a little bit bigger depending on what you're playing against. Destroyer Phoenix, because he's super good. Pop a card, and he can recur himself, so it's just really good card. The one Dangerous, just as your follow-up for that Fusion Destiny, we have the extra materials. And then this is also one of those attack manipulation cards, so he will bump Destiny heroes by 200 attack for every Destiny hero in your graveyard. That's usually not a ton, because either they're going to banish themselves like Malicious, but they're getting banished off of something else, or you know what, or at most you've got 5, so at most you can boost by 1,000. That's not as important. It's just there because it's there. I guess if you happen to have like the Fusion Destiny and you could not get to like a Poly or something to make one of your others, it's a nice extra body to put on board if you're trying to push for big damage. The one Malicious Bane, like I had mentioned earlier, just really excited to get to play the evil hero stuff. This thing's pretty cool. Can't be destroyed by battle or card effect. During main phase, destroy all monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to this card's, so it's a board wipe for anything under 3,000 attack. Also gains 200 attack for each monster destroyed this way. Also, you cannot declare an attack for the rest of this turn except with hero monsters. So he's a board wipe, he boosts himself by 200 for everything he destroys, and then he's just a big beater, so really good card. It's a shame that the engine that you need to play it isn't really better, or like there's not more pieces to it that can make it better, but that's the way it is. The Wonder Driver, if you summon a hero monster to the zone he points to on your side, he can get back any of your fusion or poly or mass changes, so any of these other than Dark Calling. You can play Dark Fusion, I guess, if you wanted to, but Dark Calling is better. So he gets it back, sets it on the field, so you can just use it again, and then if he dies, you can special summon a hero from your hand, so kind of floats, semi-floats. You really would play him more for the being able to dig these back out of the graveyard. The one Cross guy, Cross Crusader, I didn't know his name was Cross Guy before. If this card is a link summon, you can target a Destiny hero in your graveyard, special summon it. You can tribute a Destiny hero, add a hero monster with a different name from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Also, you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this card's effect except hero monsters, so kind of locks you down a little bit if you use that effect, which is fine because the thing you would climb up into is still a hero monster. It sucks if you wanted to go for your access code, but it's fairly rare that that needs to be the case. This thing is super good depending on what you're using to make it, so typically if you can go, like if you open Fusion Destiny, you can end on the Destroyer Phoenix plus this guy, which is a pretty decent board. So you would Fusion Destiny, send the Malicious and the Denier, banish the Malicious to special summon the other Malicious, use the Denier effect to summon out of the graveyard, and then to put the Malicious that was banished back in your deck. Link the two away to make your Cross Crusader. Crusader will special summon one of them, say your Malicious again, and then you can tribute that Malicious to search something else, and then banish it to special summon the one that's in your deck. Or you can just link up into your Dread Decimator, which is just like a big body, so you would link into this if you needed just big attack damage on board. So hero monster at points 2 gains 100 attack for each hero monster with different names in your graveyard. If this card attacks defense position, it does piercing, and you can usually grow pretty decent. By like turn 2 or 3 he can be giving out like a 800 or 900 attack boost, so he's pretty cool. And then the one access code, because it's access code, is just like one of the best link boss monsters in the game. So that's the hero deck that I'm working with right now. I'm still learning this quite a bit. It's been a really long time since I've played this deck at all, so there's probably going to be some changes coming. If you have any recommendations, I'd love to hear them down below for sure. Let me know. I love this deck. I gotta honor the GX boys, you know. But thanks again for coming by Libertalia Game Supply and hanging out with me, taking a look at another deck profile. I will see you guys in the next video. Happy deck building. I hope you guys have a great week.